Joining us now once again, Andy Wiseman, and you are here to talk with us. You are from Redwood Ventures, but you're going to talk to us about basically how to avoid the pitfall that we see happen with a lot of people and put some deterrents in place to help you avoid the knockoff situation. And you have a great example from a product I think people will still remember.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, 7 or 8 years ago, I was involved with a company that launched Zuzu Pets and got that brand to market. And they were scurrying little hamsters that we had these habit trails and play sets for. And it was a very exciting opportunity for us as a young group. We were a small company at the time. We launched it, and we were first. We drove demand like we talked about earlier, and it flew. During this period where consumers were falling in love with the product, they couldn't get enough of it, it was scarce, it was out of stock everywhere, second largest toy company in the world at the time, brought out something that was very, very similar. Mm-hmm. They launched it, they brought it to market, they had plenty of marketing muscle. It should not have been difficult for them, but ultimately their launch failed. And it was really just a testament to us being first and then driving that demand. And this shows us how protective those two pieces are in protecting your intellectual property.
And also being original. I mean,
being original. Shouldn't even have to say that. But yes, be original. Theirs was not as original as ours. You know, I'm a little biased.
A little biased, right.
We were original, and that paid off.
For the viewers who were not with us, we talked about finding an unmet need. We talked about do hard things, be original, be first, drive demand. You had some other things you wanted to touch on.
Yeah, I would say an obvious protective device that we all ought to employ in watching over our intellectual property is to hire a good firm. Find somebody who's bright and talented to help you navigate the landscape as it relates to intellectual property law. It's complex, it's changing all of the time, and this requires you to develop a good relationship, a close relationship, where you're talking with these folks daily, asking questions, learning about the law yourself. And I think something to keep in mind, too, is that trademarks, copyrights, and patents are assets of your company. They can be worth millions or even billions of dollars over time. And so finding good counsel is very important because they'll help you understand what to file, what not to file. And I would also remind everybody that your patents, your trademarks, and your copyrights are really only worth as much as your willingness to defend them. So I wouldn't say file everything, but hire somebody to help you make those kinds of decisions.
Well, and it's good that you said it because you say patent. A lot of people don't realize there's different kinds of patents, design patent, utility patent, and you really want to make sure that you're going down the right path.
Absolutely.
What's another suggestion you would give people?
Well, I would say be willing to defend your property. In fact, we're in a situation now where we're involved in a lawsuit where somebody has come too close to designs that we've filed copyrights, trademarks, and patents for. And in this case, we made the tough determination that we needed to stand up for ourselves, and we needed to protect our rights. Certainly, you can't do this with every infringing matter that comes across your bow, but in our case, we had to decide this. And I think you have to decide early on, at the time of filing, am I really willing to defend this later? So you do have to, at some point, express that willingness in reality, and you've got to defend your rights.
Be prepared for the upfront cost of paying for those things, and be prepared for the cost on the back end should you have to defend what you feel are your rights.
Right, and going back to your IP counsel, the people that you hire, keep in mind that when you select those bright, talented people, they could be the people that are defending you later. They most likely will be. So these are important decisions to make.
Is there anything else, because we kind of rattled off the first few quickly, for people who maybe didn't see our original interview, that you would like to touch on one more time?
Sure, two things. Number one is to find an unmet need. In the world of consumer products and services today, where is there a gap? I would identify that, and then I would couple that with something you're very passionate about or that you have a lot of expertise related to. And when you couple that need with that, you're going to have a great foundation on which to build something very, very original. That's really foundational to this.
Well, and you were saying don't be afraid of doing something hard. In fact, embrace it.
Embrace doing hard things because it builds what I've called determination muscle. And this is the idea of the going is going to get tough. It's time to find a way or make one. And so in developing that determination muscle, you're willing to do things that other people won't do. You're going to build something that's going to be harder for people to copy. And when times get tough and you're challenged, or when you have to tackle a knockoff, you're going to be prepared to do it.
Or at least better prepared. Andy,
so.
great suggestions. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Andy Wiseman from Redwood Ventures.